Welcome to Language Lab。第一个重点我们要来看的是 melting pot 这个名词。melting pot 本来是指溶解金属的熔炉，但是在这里是指许多不同人种共存及融合的地方。例如 New York City is one of the great melting pots of America。纽约市是美国的种族大熔炉之一。或者是 Singapore is a cultural melting pot of multiple races。新加坡是多种种族共存的文化大熔炉。继续我们看的是 ingredient 这个名词。ingredient 我们学过它可以指食材，例如 the ingredients of the cake are eggs, flour, sugar, butter, and yeast。这个蛋糕的食材有鸡蛋、面粉、糖、奶油跟酵母。但是 ingredient 在今天的课文中是指因素或元素。例如 mutual trust and passion are vital ingredients for a successful marriage。彼此信赖跟热情是成功婚姻的重要因素。
So, Gabe, are you ready to check out the Nihamachi Street Fair?
Well, yes, I am, Rebecca. I'd love to check out this fair. I love going to all sorts of festivals, don't you?
Well, of course, but Gabe, I know why you want to check out this particular fair.
And why is that, Rebecca?
You're excited about all the food, right?
Well, yeah, aren't you excited about the food at the Nihonmachi Street Fair?
Well, of course, Gabe, but there are other things to do at the fair than just eat food. There's dancing and music and other activities.
Okay, well, I'm sure you're correct about that. We're going to read about some of these things you can do. But first, we read here, this long-running fair takes place today and tomorrow. So it's not that long of a festival, and if you're not in Japan right now, San Francisco right now, then I'm afraid you might miss it this year.
Yeah, unfortunately, because it takes a long time to fly to California from Asia. Well, let's learn about this fair since we can't actually go there ourselves. Everyone loves a good festival with delicious food and music and fun activities. Everyone loves a good something. That's actually a great and fun phrase, isn't it?
That's right. Of course, you use this phrase when you want to try to tell people that basically people in general, lots of people like something. So everyone loves a good vacation. Of course, you're working so hard. Everyone loves a good vacation. Or when I'm on vacation, I like to get a massage. Everyone loves a good massage.
Of course, Gabe. But everyone also loves a good movie with plenty of action and drama. At least I know a lot of people do. Or everyone loves a good dinner after a hard day at work. Everyone enjoys a good meal.
All right, friends, think of some other way that you could use that phrase. Everyone loves a good festival with delicious food, great music, and fun activities. Of course, there is lots of good food to be had at this festival.
And just like in the picture over here, that food does look pretty tasty.
Okay, well, they're cooking something delicious, I'm sure. San Francisco's Nihonmachi Street Fair, sometimes called the melting pot of street fairs, combines these ingredients with much more. Now, melting pot, that could have different meanings. I think of a city that has lots of different cultures as being a melting pot.
I think of that as well. Well, let's jump down to the very next, or the next sentence. This historic region of San Francisco was beginning to lose its cultural identity. Now, we want to talk about this word, to lose. This just means that you have something less than before. Now, of course, when I think of this word, I typically think of soup or food losing its flavor. For example, I had this soup, and it tasted really good when I first made it. I put it in the refrigerator for a couple days, and it lost some of its flavor.
Okay, so soup or food can lose its flavor. Something can lose its cultural identity. Maybe you have some clothes and you wash them, and so they started to lose their color. You can use that word lose in different ways. Well, we're learning about Japantown here, this historic region of San Francisco. And I believe the guys in the info club have something they'd like to share about that word, historic. Let's join them now.
The word history has two adjectives, historic and historical. They may sound alike, but their meanings are slightly different.
Historic refers to what is important in history. For example, the historic first voyage to the moon.
Historic is also used to describe what is famous or interesting because of its place in history. The White House is a historic building. It has been the official residence of every U.S. president since 1800.
Historical, on the other hand, refers to whatever existed in the past, whether it's regarded as important or not. We might talk about a minor historical character.
Historical can also refer to anything concerned with history or the study of the past. For example, a historical novel.
Right, but friends, these are not strict rules we need to memorize. While these distinctions are useful, these words are often used interchangeably. For example, we can say either historic times or historical times.
Historic 跟 historical 我们可以来做一个区分。Historic 表示历史上有名的、有历史性的，比如说 a historic occasion 一个历史性的场合 ，a historical region 是一个有历史性的地区。Historical 是指历史的、史学的，一个 historical character 就是一个历史人物。一个 historical character 不一定很有名，但是在历史上有记载这个人。其实 historic 跟 historical 的差别并不是那么的明显，有时候它们的定义会重叠。比如说，古老的时期可以讲 historical times， 也可以讲 historic times。这就是今天的 Info Cloud， 我们下次云端见。
Thank you, guys. Wait a minute. I guess that makes Rebecca a historic teacher, hey?
Gabe, I'm not that old. If I'm a historic teacher, that means you must be ancient.
Right. Okay, very good. Okay, friends, let's move on here now that you know what historic and historical mean. Okay, Buck Festival leaders encouraged the area's Asian Pacific American youth to staff, produce, and organize a street fair. Okay, so this area's leaders, they wanted to encourage the young people of that area to staff something. Usually I see the word staff as a noun, but here it's a verb. That means they're running and organizing this event.
That's right. And let's continue on. We read the goal was to help young people develop leadership and communication skills while honoring their cultural heritage. Now, this is actually a great phrase, to develop certain skills. When you're developing something, that just means that you are acquiring or you're getting better at a certain skill, right?
Of course, if you're joining us here at Studio Classroom, then you are developing your English speaking skills. And if you join an English writing class or seminar, you want to develop your English writing skills. I'm always trying to develop my Chinese skills. I'm always playing the drums. I'm trying to develop my drumming skills as well.
Well, I know that I'm always trying to develop my musical skills as well. Well, you know, last summer, I actually had an opportunity to teach a baking camp. And at this baking camp, I got to teach students how to bake. And of course, therefore, I was helping them develop their baking skills.
Is that you in this picture?
Yeah, that's me. And those are the students in the background, and we're baking banana bread.
Rebecca, I was thinking
Yes.
maybe I could develop my eating skills. I thought
Okay.
maybe you could bake something for me and I could continue to develop those skills.
Gabe, I have a better idea. I can teach you how to bake and cook. Then you can eat what you bake and cook and develop your eating skills.
Yeah, that's a good idea too. Well, friends, of course, back to our lesson, we read that you can develop leadership and communication skills. Both are very important skills to have in life. Stay tuned. We have more for you right after this.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Studio Classroom. This is the place where exciting things happen. Right now, we are in the middle of discussing the Nihonmachi Street Fair. We have already learned that the purpose of the street fair is to help young people develop leadership and communication skills while honoring their cultural heritage. Well, Let's continue learning about this fair with our next reading.
The Nihonmachi Street Fair. The first year, the all-volunteer effort drew only a few participants. Today, however, the festival averages around 30,000 people. Festival participants enjoy many aspects of Asian Pacific American culture. The festival's 2 stages feature music ranging from rock to jazz. Diverse cultural entertainment, including Chinese lion dances, Hawaiian music, and traditional Japanese drummers, is on display as well. Along with Asian food, Asian-inspired crafts can be purchased. Japantown's youth, with their energy, passion, and creativity, remain an important part of this successful event.
OK， 接下来我们看的是 entertainment 这个名词。我们看到这个字里面有 entertain， 使快乐或者使开心这个动词，所以名词 entertainment 是指娱乐节目或者是活动。例如 ，There's a wide variety of entertainment offered at the resort。这个度假中心提供多种的娱乐活动，或者是 The musical is great entertainment for audiences of all ages。这出音乐剧各种年龄层的观众都会喜欢。最后我们看的是 purchase 这个动词 ，purchase 是指购买，例如 Tickets for the show can be purchased online。这个表演的门票可以在网络上订购，或者是 We purchased the TV with our credit card。我们是用信用卡购买这台电视的。Purchase 也可以当名词，例如 The product can be refunded within 7 days after purchase if you are not satisfied。如果你不满意这个产品，购买后7天内可以退款。And now let's get back to our teachers.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Let's continue learning about this Nihonmachi Street Fair in San Francisco. We read, the first year, the all-volunteer effort drew only a few participants. It drew. Wait, drew. Draw. When I use the word draw, usually I think of maybe doing some artwork, like I'm going to draw a picture with a pencil. Oh, Rebecca.
Yes,
I'm not very good at art.
Okay.
You know, as a matter of fact, the only thing that I can draw is flies. You get it? You get it?
Yes, Gabe, you could draw flies.
Yeah, you get it?
I get it.
Yeah,
I get
okay,
it.
cool.
You know something? I'm glad that flies are attracted to you and they aren't attracted to me. Because, or even better, do you draw mosquitoes? Because I'd rather mosquitoes be attracted to you too.
Yes, sometimes I do draw mosquitoes as well. Friends, as you can see, this word draw has a couple of different meanings. Usually you use it to talk about drawing something with your hands, right? But here in our lesson and in my joke about drawing flies, it means that things are attracted to me. The flies are attracted to me.
Exactly. And that actually reminds me of a great example sentence. Okay, here it is. The whale performance at SeaWorld drew a large crowd. Like, have you ever been to SeaWorld and been to one of those whale performances?
Yeah, the killer whales, right?
Yeah, the killer whales. Like in this picture here, it always draws a very large crowd.
That means lots of people go out to see this show. They are attracted to this show, the killer whales. You know, I often use this word when talking about musical performances as well. For example, the band playing in the street at Ximending drew a large crowd. Lots of people gathered around to watch them play.
So we read earlier that the first year, the all-volunteer effort drew only a few participants. However, in our lesson, we continue to read, today, however, the festival averages around 30,000 people. So we can see that the festival has really grown quite a bit.
Yeah, it's drawing quite a crowd every year. We read on here, festival participants enjoy many aspects of Asian Pacific American culture. The festival's 2 stages feature music ranging from rock to jazz, both genres that I enjoy personally. And what else do we read about this?
Diverse cultural entertainment, including Chinese lion dances, Hawaiian music, and traditional Japanese drummers is on display as well. Oh, I think that might be the Chinese lion dances.
I think you're right about that, Rebecca.
I'm pretty sure. And then we have another picture of drummers.
Yes, of course. This is a very special kind of drumming. Do we have any other kinds of entertainment? We have dancing, drumming.
Dancers, right here.
Yes, another kind of dancing. Very good.
That's right. So basically, if you were to go to this festival, you might be able to experience all of that. The drummers, the dancing, and of course, the lion dances, and more.
All right, so this is all included in this diverse cultural entertainment. All right, let's continue here. Along with Asian food, Asian-inspired crafts can be purchased. Okay, so you can buy food. You can also buy crafts that have been inspired by different countries in Asia.
That's right. Well, we read the very last line. Japantown's youth, with their energy, passion, and creativity, remain an important part of this successful event. Now, typically, when I hear this word remain, I think of something that just continues to exist for a period of time, right?
That's exactly right. It endures over time. So, for example, Radiohead is one of my favorite bands. And actually, since knowing about Radiohead, I've come to enjoy lots of other bands. But Radiohead remains my favorite band. Or, how about this? I tried Timbala at the night market a long time ago. I love it.
Yes.
And of course, I've learned to enjoy a lot of other foods, but Timbala really remains my favorite night market snack.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to try it out one of these days. Well, friends, I hope that you've enjoyed learning about the Hamachi Street Fair. It's time to review today's lesson with our review skit.
Delicious food, great music, fun activities. Everyone loves a good festival.
And the street fair combines all those ingredients and much more.
It's called the melting pot of street fairs. It started way back in 1973 as a way to offer opportunities to young people in Japantown.
The Asian Pacific American youth staff, produced, and organized this event.
The goal here is to help young people develop leadership and communication skills
while honoring their cultural heritage.
Exactly. You know, the first year the effort drew only a few participants.
Oh, that's too bad.
Today, however, the festival averages around 30,000 people, all enjoying aspects of Asian Pacific American culture.
There's music ranging from rock to jazz.
And diverse cultural entertainment is on display. Chinese lion dancers, Hawaiian music, and Japanese drummers.
Along with Asian food and Asian-inspired crafts.
Yeah. Energy, passion, creativity. Japantown still remain an important part of this successful event.
So hooray for Japantown's youth.
Yeah! Let's celebrate Asian Pacific American culture!
Let's go!
Hey!
Today, we looked at the Nihonmachi Street Fair, which is held in San Francisco. This street fair is sometimes called the melting pot of street fairs because it combines delicious food, fun activities, and great music with much more. The event was started in 1973 by city officials as a way to offer young people in Japantown opportunities. Japantown is a historic area, but it was beginning to lose its cultural identity. So festival leaders encouraged the Asian Pacific American youth to produce and organize a street fair, and also to provide the staff for it. Developing leadership and communication skills and honoring their cultural heritage were the goals. It started out with only a few people attending the first fair, but they didn't give up. And now the average attendance is over 3,000 people. What can a person expect? 2 stages with music that ranges from rock to jazz, diverse cultural entertainment, including Chinese line dances, Hawaiian music, and Japanese drummers. Crafts that are Asian-inspired can be purchased right along with Asian food. The energy, passion, and creativity of Japantown's youth still play an important part of the successful festival.
Thank you, Doris. Now, friends, you might be wondering, are we eating food that is from the Nihonmachi Street Fair? And the answer is
No. It's just guava.
yeah, but it's delicious.
It's very good. Well, friends, make sure you join us next time for another exciting lesson right here on Studio Classroom.
We'll see you then.
And make sure you go get yourself a guava.
Oh, yeah. I mean, talking about all that food made me want to have some more.
Some more?
On Sundays, there is no teaching program. Please select another day.
Studio Classroom is on the air. It's a place to learn and a place to share. Connect with others everywhere. There are things to learn and there's things to know. So please stay tuned and watch the show.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Studio Classroom. My name is Gabe. I believe your English will improve today. Now here's my question for you. Is there someone that you need to forgive? I know that may be a very difficult question for some of you to answer, so you may not want to even think about it. Well, before you turn off the TV, you should know that there are wonderful benefits to forgiveness. And I mean you forgiving others will make your life better. This month is International Forgiveness Month. Every dictionary has its definition of forgiveness, and in our lesson we will also discuss the question, what is forgiveness? So open up your magazine and let's begin.
International Forgiveness Month. 2 special days this month put the focus on forgiveness. How easy is it for you to say to someone, I forgive you? Many times, when someone hurts you, the last thing you want to do is to forgive them. And even if you know you should, forgiving someone can still be quite a challenge. Everyone says forgiveness is a lovely idea until they have something to forgive. This is how famous writer C.S. Lewis once described the difficulty of forgiveness. Yet studies have shown that forgiveness can benefit you more than the one you forgive.
Hi, welcome to Language Lab. 今天的第一个重点，我们看的是 forgiveness 这个不可数名词。我们看到这个字里面有 forgive 原谅这个动词，所以名词 forgiveness 是指原谅或宽恕。例如 ，the thief got down on his knees in front of the store owner and begged for forgiveness. 这个小偷在店主面前跪下来求他原谅他，或者是 forgiveness means letting go of the past and being free. 饶恕代表放下过去，得到自由。接下来我们看的是 challenge 这个名词 ，challenge 在这里是指挑战、难题或者是考验。例如 ，finding a cure for this disease is a difficult challenge。要找到治疗这个疾病的方式是非常困难的挑战。或者是 Ryan likes to explore new things and enjoys challenges。Ryan 喜欢探索新的事物，而且享受挑战。challenge 也可以当动词，意思是向某个对象挑战。如果要说明做什么事情的话，可以用介系词 to。例如 ，My nephew challenged me to a game of chess。我的外甥跟我挑战玩西洋棋。
All right, let's start talking about International Forgiveness Day, or International Forgiveness Month. But first, Rebecca, I would just like to say, I forgive you.
Great, Gabe. That's wonderful. I'm glad you forgive me. But for what? What did I do?
Well, Rebecca, nobody's perfect. I mean, we all make mistakes, and so I just want to forgive you for all of the mistakes that you will make in the future.
Well, you know something, Gabe? That means a lot to me. But you know, I forgive you too because I know you're also going to make lots and lots of mistakes. So.
Well, that's great. We can just forgive each other.
We know how to forgive, don't we?
All right.
Oh, that's great.
Friends, forgiveness really is important. Actually, there's a whole month dedicated to forgiveness as we read in our lesson. International Forgiveness Month. 2 special days this month put the focus on forgiveness. And what are those days? Let me share with you. International Forgiveness Day is the first Sunday of August. That was yesterday. And Global Forgiveness Day is August 27th. So yeah, it really is International Forgiveness Month.
It definitely is. So that means forgiveness is very, very, very important. And you know something? I really like here in our sentence where we read, how easy is it for you to say to someone, I forgive you? Okay, Gabe, I'm going to ask you that question. How easy is it for you to say to someone, I forgive you?
Well, I forgive you, Rebecca. It wasn't that hard.
Well, no,
Just
let's
3
say,
words.
let's imagine for a moment that someone did something that really hurt you.
Yeah.
It was terrible. Maybe they stole your pencil or did something, or even better, they broke your favorite toy.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that did happen. That would have made me upset when I was a child, stealing my pencil or breaking my favorite toy.
Okay.
You know, it's true. If you have something you really value, it could be a toy if you're a child, or something very valuable like a car if you're an adult. If someone does something to that, it might be kind of hard for you to forgive that person, right? Rebecca, that is a very important question. Are these words as easy to say as they sound?
I don't know. Sometimes it can be very, very difficult. But you know, right now, we want to go visit the guys in the info cloud, and they actually want to talk a little bit more about these words, I forgive you.
That's right. What are the hardest words to say in English? Let's see what they have to say about this.
Hello, friends. What is the hardest sentence to say in English? Is it a sentence that contains lots of long, unpronounceable scientific words?
Or maybe it's a sentence like, I forgive you, or I love you.
Pretty close. According to the book, Think Like a Freak, the most difficult sentence to say is, I don't know. And the difficulty starts when we're little.
One researcher in England told a group of children a very simple story. Later, when the children were asked questions about the story, 2/3 to 3/4 of them pretended to know the answers or made up answers rather than say, I don't know.
Naturally, the habit of faking it continues on into adulthood. What businessman or politician wants to admit ignorance when asked a question? That's weakness.
Yes, so just pretend to know more than we do and hope for the best?
The problem with that is only until we admit we don't know can we truly learn what we need to know.
Right. If we think we already have all the answers, we won't go looking for them. So, friends, when was the last time you said, I don't know?
英文最难说的一句话是什么？是一句含有很多艰深难懂的生字的句子吗？还是这两句话 I forgive you 跟 I love you？ 的确，这两句话很难说出口。但根据一位作者，最难说出口的一个句子是 I don't know。为什么呢？因为人都是不肯承认自己的 ignorance 无知。我们如果观察小朋友在课堂上乱编造答案，就看得出大多数的人宁可假装自己很懂一件事，也不愿意说出 I don't know 这一句话。但除非我们能虚心地面对自己的无知，我们才能够知道自己需要学习什么。如果你自认为你是一个智多星，那你也不会主动地去寻找答案了，是吧？这就是今天的 Info Cloud， 我们下次云端见。
This out. I got this text from my friend. They said IDK. What does IDK stand for?
I don't know.
OMG, nobody knows. Ah? Did you get it? That was our little joke. Thank you guys in the info cloud for telling us those 3 most difficult words to say. I don't know. It's true, it's hard to admit ignorance sometimes.
It really is. Gabe, when was the last time you said, I don't know?
I don't know, Rebecca. It's a good question.
You just said it.
See, it's not that hard to say.
It really isn't. Well, continuing on with our lesson, we read many times when someone hurts you, the last thing you want to do is forgive them. That's actually very true. Oftentimes when someone hurts me, the last thing I feel like doing is looking them directly in the eye and saying, that really hurt, but I forgive you.
That's right, and this is a great phrase to know, friends. You see it here on the screen. The last thing you want to do. Let's use it in another way. For example, when I'm on vacation, the last thing I want to do is work, but sometimes I have to work. Or in America, because I don't visit the States that often, the last thing I want to eat is Chinese food. I have Chinese food where I live here all the time.
That's a very good example. Well, I know when you are sick, the last thing that you should do is go to the beach. Obviously, when you're sick, you should be staying at home. And of course, on a hot day, the last thing I want to drink is hot coffee. Who wants to drink hot coffee on a hot day?
And of course, if someone hurts you, we talked about maybe someone stealing something from you or breaking something that you like or that you own. But often what hurts even more is when people betray us, right? And when someone hurts you, the last thing you want to do is forgive that person. But we continue here, and even if you know you should, forgiving someone can still be quite a challenge.
Ooh, it definitely can be. And Gabe, you brought up a great word. Quite a. I like that word, quite. That just refers to or means to a larger degree or means that it's a lot, very difficult thing to do. So let's use this word in other ways as well.
Okay.
Taking care of 4 children can be quite a big responsibility. Or we've had quite a lot of rain this year.
So you can see this word quite emphasizes the following words, right? It's quite a big responsibility. It really is a big responsibility. Or it was quite heavy rain. Or here in our lesson, it can be quite a challenge to forgive somebody. Everyone says forgiveness is a lovely idea until they have something to forgive. That is a great quote to think about. Well, friends, stay tuned. We have more right after this. Welcome back to Studio Classroom. We are in the middle of a lesson about forgiveness. It's pretty important to know how to forgive. Like when someone hurts you. Like when your best friend smiles to your face but talks about you behind your back and says, don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a terrible teacher. He's really annoying. Smells really bad. Oh yes, forgive. Forgive and forget, as they say. It's okay, you didn't really hurt me. That's what forgiveness means, right? Well then of course I forgive you. Let's put the past behind us and move on.
International Forgiveness Month. What is forgiveness? Forgiveness is a conscious decision to let go of your resentment. It doesn't mean that you have to forget what the person did to offend or hurt you. It also doesn't mean that you have to excuse the act or the person's responsibility. Instead, you choose not to remember the situation and the person with anger. This will help prevent the negative emotions from causing you greater problems.
Alright， 继续我们看的是 conscious 这个形容词。conscious 是指有意识的或者是有意的。例如 it takes a conscious effort of both husband and wife to maintain a good relationship. 要保持好的关系，需要夫妻双方有意识的努力。conscious 也指意识清楚的。例如 the wounded passenger was still conscious when he was sent to the ER. 这位受伤的乘客被送到急诊时还是意识清楚的。最后我们看的是 resentment 这个不可数名词，我们看到这个字里面有 resent，R-E-S-E-N-T， 厌恶这个动词，所以 resentment 是指愤恨、不满或者是憎恶。例如 The boy has a deep resentment towards his classmates because they bullied him。这个男孩因为同学们霸凌他而对他们有很深的愤恨。或者是 The workers don't dare to show their resentment because they fear losing their jobs。这些工人不敢表现出不满，因为怕失去他们的工作。And now let's get back to our teachers.
So here's a great question that we read in our lesson. What is forgiveness? What is forgiveness? Well, we continue to read in our lesson. Forgiveness is a conscious decision to let go of your resentment. So that means if someone hurts you, if someone says something to you that really hurts you a lot, you have to make a decision to let go of that. Right, Gabe?
You're right, Rebecca.
Yes, I thought so.
And you have to make a conscious decision. Friends, this is a very good key word to know. You're making a conscious decision. That means you're using your mind to do something. It's something you have to do on purpose. Okay, so you need to make a conscious decision to forgive people. Now, the opposite of a conscious decision is a subconscious decision or subconscious action. You don't really think about it. For example, breathing is a subconscious action. We don't always think about the fact that we are breathing.
Of course not. It just happens naturally because that's what we're made to do as human beings. We are made to breathe. But back to this word conscious. I have a couple of other examples that I would like to share with you. First being, some people need to make a conscious effort to think positively. Sometimes it's really easy to think about all the negative things that are going on around you, but you need to force yourself or make an effort to think about positive things.
You know, Rebecca, that is me a lot of the time. I have to make a conscious effort to think about positive things. Sometimes, especially in the mornings, a lot of negative thoughts pour into my head, and I have to make a conscious decision to think about things that are good for me to think about. Well, friends, think of other ways you can use that word conscious. Right now, we need to make the conscious decision to join the girls for a closer look at this phrase, let it go. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Oh, actually, it's the phrase let go of. Yeah.
To let go of.
Let go.
Hi everyone, I'm Christina. And I'm Serena. Welcome back to A Closer Look Twin Time. Today, we're going to take a closer look at the phrase, let go. We say this when we want to forget about a bad situation. As you know in our text today, we read, forgiveness is a conscious decision to let go of your resentments. The writer is saying, it's your own choice to forget and forgive those who have hurt us. Have you ever walked into a crowded subway and all of a sudden someone pushes you out of the way? Well, rather than getting angry, try to let go of the situation. It's not always easy. Now, I'm sure many of you have seen the movie Frozen. Do you remember the song, Let It Go? What do you think the song title means? Right. It means to let go of your problems. Forget about your problems. Serena, do you still remember when I spilled grape juice all over your brand new dress? I remember that very clearly. I was upset for days, but eventually I had to forgive you. I had to let it go. I felt terrible. I'm sorry. It's important to let go of negative feelings so you can move on. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you can let go of your problems so you can live a more peaceful life. We'll see you next time on A Closer Look.
Thank you, ladies. So remember, forgiveness is a conscious decision to let go of your resentment. However, in our lesson we read, it doesn't mean that you have to forget what the person did to offend or hurt you. It also doesn't mean that you have to excuse the act or the person's responsibility. Isn't that right?
It's true. And friends, you heard what I said earlier just after the commercial break. Sometimes we think we need to forgive and forget. But as we read here, it's kind of impossible to forget what someone did to hurt you, right? And it's also important not to excuse that person's behavior. If they did something wrong, you shouldn't just say, "Oh, that's no problem. You can do as many hurtful things as you want." No, that's not a good attitude to have. If you really forgive someone and you want to help them, then you should point out what they did was wrong. Maybe that can help them change.
That's right. And just because you forgive someone doesn't mean that you actually have to trust someone again. If someone really did something to hurt you, you need to let it go, but you might not be able to trust that person anymore. Well, let's continue on with our lesson. We read, instead, you choose not to remember the situation and the person with anger. Now, this is actually a very useful phrase that we should talk about. To remember something with something.
All right, so when you're thinking about something from the past, sometimes you have an emotion that comes with that memory, right? So that's when we use this phrase. You remember something with happiness. We would all like to remember everything with happiness, right? For example, I remember my time with my friends when I visited them with happiness. Or sometimes things make you sad, right? When my friend passed away, of course, I remember that time with sadness.
Exactly. Or you could also say, I remember all of those times with my grandma with a lot of love and fondness. Or back to that word sadness, Sandy often remembers, or she remembers last summer with a lot of sadness.
All right, and friends, you need to choose to forgive, right? And that means you might not forget, but you cannot remember the situation and the person with anger, all right? And this will help prevent the negative emotions from causing you greater problems. So we're going to learn about some of the benefits to forgiveness next time on Studio Classroom. But for now, let's review with the editor's summary.
I forgive you. Is that easy for you to say or not? If you're hurt, probably not so easy. And even when you know you should forgive, it can be a challenge to actually do so. I like what C.S. Lewis had to say about forgiveness. Everyone says forgiveness is a lovely idea until they have something to forgive. So true. But did you know that studies have shown that forgiving someone benefits you more than the person you are forgiving? Forgiveness is actually a conscious decision to let go of resentment. You don't have to forget what a person did, but you don't have to excuse it either. If you can remember the situation and the person without being angry, it will help prevent greater problems in the future, which negative emotions may cause you.
Thank you, Doris. Well, friends, it really is important to try to forgive other people.
Ow, Gabe, I forgive you.
Thanks.
Well, anyway, friends, thank you so much for joining us today, and make sure you join us tomorrow as we continue talking about forgiveness right here on Studio Classroom.
We'll see you next time.
Oh,
I didn't even say I'm sorry. I did. You forgave me. That was so wonderful.
Studio Classroom is on the air. It's a place to learn and a place to share. Connect with others everywhere. There are things to learn and there's things to know. So please stay tuned and watch the show.
Oh, hello there, friends. Welcome to Studio Classroom. My name is Rebecca. Now, here's a question. Do you need to forgive anyone? Well, we're continuing our lesson today about forgiveness. Our first section is called Let It Go. Yes, just like the song from the movie Frozen, Let It Go. We will learn about many benefits to forgiveness. So, what are we waiting for? Open your magazine and let's begin.
International Forgiveness Month. Let it go. There are many benefits to forgiveness. For one thing, forgiveness is good for your health. It helps reduce your stress and anxiety levels. It can also prevent high blood pressure and depression. For another, when you develop the habit of forgiveness, your relationships are healthier. One study found that forgiveness restores positive feelings toward the one who committed the offense. These positive feelings often spread to other relationships, making them better too.
Hi, welcome to Language Lab. 今天的第一个重点，我们看的是 depression 这个名词。